Hi, my name is Justin Abel. I'm currently a senior mechanical engineering student at Carnegie Mellon University, and for my final project in DIY design and fabrication, I have created a wooden three-dimensional topographic model of Westeros from the book series A Song of Ice and Fire and the hit HBO TV series Game of Thrones. The map is both for artistic, aesthetic purposes, but also mainly functions as a modified Risk board. The classic board game Risk is a game where 2 to 6 players manage troops across a map of the world and vie for global domination. In my Game of Thrones edition of Risk, the same exact rules apply as in the game, but the classic territories have been replaced with familiar regions throughout Westeros. My motivation for this project mainly stems from my love for board games, and specifically Risk. This is a go-to game for me and my friends, and given that I love the books and TV series related to Game of Thrones, it only seemed natural to fuse the two together. I started this project with a few ideas in mind, so I sketched them out in a rough ideation phase. These included fabricating a chess set, laser cutting a large roadmap of Pittsburgh for a decorative poster, among a couple other things. However, I quickly selected the Westeros Risk idea and began by importing a map of Westeros into SolidWorks. I first carefully created a spline curve that hugged the outline of the map. Then I created multiple layers radiating out from the map boundary to represent various sea levels that will be stacked below the main map for a 3D look. Next, I decided where I wanted to draw my territory boundaries and make continent divisions on the map, trying as best as possible to adhere to a similar style as the classic game. Next, I exported each layer to the laser cutter and scaled each template to make the overall game board approximately 20 by 33 inches. I selected 5mm thick birch plywood as the material is sturdy and can be easily laser cut while also providing a nice wooden aesthetic to the project. I cut a total of 5 layers, and on the top layer I engraved the names of the territories. Next I sanded down the layers, applied glue to the bottom surfaces, and stacked them in my desired orientation. I clamped the layers together using many heavy barbell weights. Once the glue finished drying, I took a thin-tip Sharpie and traced out the territory boundaries by hand. Next, I decided to stain the ocean and various territories different colors to give the project a more game-boardy feel. I purchased food coloring and mixed it with warm water before applying a couple coats to the wooden model. This worked surprisingly well and served as a great substitute for more expensive wood stains. Lastly, I sanded down the surfaces to give the map a more rustic look. Here's a picture of the final product, ready for some intense games of Risk with friends and family.